Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the bakery. Today, we've got a real special video for you. That's right, I said we in the sense of myself as well as some other person. Today, myself and one of my favorite Souls creators are collaborating. Seeing as we're playing in Dark Souls 2, can you guess who that is? If you guessed Eleum Lois, you'd be entirely correct. As today, Eleum, Lois, and I are running challenges the other person picked for us. So let's just jump straight into it.
Buckle up for the sweetest ride and prepare to have your mind blown wide.
You're fired!
So this is... So this is technically the third collaboration I've worked on now. The first one still hasn't been released. As I said in the intro though, Miss Lois and I chose a challenge for the other person. Now, I'll admit, I do think the challenge I chose is the more fun one, but who knows. I've never played the game with the rules I was given before. So, I had originally planned a challenge where she would need to run the game as a minion enemy, being a Dark Souls 3 Hollow specifically. However, I was swiftly informed that the minion idea was literally the next challenge going up. So, I pulled up a Dark Souls 1 boss list and found something great. You're gonna have to watch her video to find out what that is though. You see what I did there? I sure got you. As for ours, I actually needed research done for once. You know how I am though, allergic to researching my runs. So another shout out to Eleum for supplying me with a chart to help. We were given, a drum roll please, an NPC rewards challenge. At least I have a guide. So we start as Rainbow Dash, this deprived, and the rules are, pretty simple. It's exactly as it sounds. We can only use NPC rewards for armor, weapons, and rings. Anyway, speaking of the guide, let's have a look here. Looking at this guide, I think our easiest weapon is going to be the Germ Great Axe, gifted by everyone's favorite germ, Hans Gruber. However, that requires cheesing Dragon Rider, which I always mess up without fail, and making it through all of No Man's Wharf to Gavlan himself, with the souls from Dragon Rider. That scares me, but mama didn't raise no bitch. Let's get going. We ain't getting any younger. Now, at the time of this recording, Miss Lois hasn't responded to me about if Estus shards and life gems are allowed, regardless of the rules, so I'm gonna say yes. If she replies later and says no, I guess we must have failed immediately. Let's make our way to Hades, though. Normally one of my favorite areas, but, Yep. Just as I suspected, failed the cheese. I don't know why this cheese is so hard for me. It's kind of embarrassing. The cheese is harder for me than just fighting the boss straight up. Ugh, finally. We agreed that I am allowed to use my fists in a worst case scenario, because that's how I run my challenges, but when I brought that up, Eleum seemed less than pleased about the idea, so I opted not to do that anyway. Finally though, we're in No Man's Wharf. I know this area like the back of my hand, so hopefully that means Dragon Rider was the hard part. Dark Souls movement struck again! Grr! Now we cannot die here at all. If we do, that means we are losing all the souls we need to get this great axe. We did it! Hooray! We can start the run for real now. Yeah, so sure, we can start the challenge now, but we're also going to be doing damage equivalent to our fists regardless anyway, for a long time. Awesome. At least we're still following the rule set with this one. We even have some leftover souls to pour into our strength so we can up our damage even the smallest amount. Now we're doing 75 damage. Isn't friendship magical? To the Forest of Fallen Giants for not only our first real boss fight, but hopefully also mild-mannered Pate's rewards later in Earthen Peak. Let me just say, we're not even at the Cardinal Tower yet, and I can already see some issues with this axe. Slow attack, as expected. It has a huge issue with the Dark Souls 2 directional swing, even though you're locked on. And of course, our incredibly reduced damage. What the hell? I didn't even know he could do that. With this wall open, though, I decide it's time to start scrounging around for soul consumables. You better use that homewood bow now, boy. Man, after we're done with strength, we're really gonna have to invest in adaptability. We are at 19 strength now, however, and 25 is our absolute minimum that we need to effectively two-hand our axe. We're getting there. Just, ever so slowly. Alright, well, we've got 20 strength now and meet the dex requirement, so I think our 160 damage is good enough to continue on the journey. Hello, Pate. By the way, how'd you get to be so mild-mannered? Walk through this gate because you think it's a trap? Alright, but it's a good thing I've got some of these bad boys. Even though I hate Pate, we do need to advance him to at least Earthen Peak, which means we also need to request his help here during the last giant fight. Wow, 7 pages into my script and I've only just now beaten the first boss of the game. I wonder how that bodes for the rest of the challenge. His juices do bring us up to 25 strength though, and we get to start pumping souls into adaptability. I also want to say, Lies of Peak has seriously been affecting my gameplay. Several times now in this whole run have tried to tap the block button to parry enemies and I just get smacked in the face. We've already grabbed some Titanite stuff though, which means now we get the chance to upgrade our axe for even more damage. Sick. This early in the game, we already have 300 damage going for us, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and face Pursuer too. I don't think he'll be that hard. Man, I am so sore over the fact they didn't put Pursuer and Night Rain as one of the pursuing bosses. That's such a missed opportunity. As I suspected though, he was definitely an easy fight. We were only hit once. While we did get a ton of souls from him, we unfortunately cannot use his Ring of Blades, which really sucks. Off to the Lost Bastille. Now, at the Lost Bastille, all I really wanted was this fire. In truth, we're actually going back to Majula and leveling our axe and body more. Like, look at this. We're already at almost 400 damage with 20 in adaptability. We are quickly becoming unstoppable. I feel like our strength and adaptability are fine for now, so we're going to be focusing on our health and stamina for a while moving forward. We may have opened this bridge shortcut a while earlier, but like an idiot, I completely skipped the part of the zone where you call the ship forward. So we got to run through again anyway. God damn! That really is the fastest I've ever beaten Flexile Sentry. Holy crap. That was insanely easy. Off to the Lost Bastille. Again. Hi, Lucatile. You already know we're gonna unlock the OG McDuff. McDuff here even has the ability to bring our axe up to a +6. Oh yeah. So we need a branch of Yor to progress, as any Dark Souls 2 player knows, and wouldn't you know it, I forgot to purchase one, and unfortunately we need another 3,000 souls to purchase one. You know what that means? Agriculture time. Apparently it was also time for the worst possible hitbox luck, but we still got the souls we needed. And we actually lost quite literally everything here. We earned it back, though, and I actually ground out a little bit more than we needed to, so we could get this, the covetous Silver Serpent Ring +1. More souls means less problems. I just want to say, too, this is one of, like, 2 or 3 rings that we're going to be allowed to use. Anyway, stone dissolves, time to face the Ruin Sentinels.
Very good.
Welp. That went about as I expected. I would really like to see these guys in Night Rain, though. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We got a ton of souls from that, including the consumable. We got 51,000. You already know we are going to be pumping most of that into health and stamina. But first, I feel like we earned some armor. According to the Eleum Lois cheat sheet, if we spend 15,000 souls here and spend the rest on leveling up, fall off this ledge and talk to him again, look what we get. The Oros set. I never knew that. I have played this game for years, and I never knew that you could do that. Finally, though, we got some armor to use. It may be spectral, but it's certainly better than nothing, which we quite literally have been working with nothing this whole run. Time to continue on to the Lost Sinner, though. First, we gotta grab this Estus shard. What the hell? I thought I remembered this being an Estus shard. Whatever, down the elevator we go, lighting oil trail 1 and 2. Lost Sinner top. That was fast. We got her the second time, though, thankfully. I always have a weird amount of trouble with Lost Sinner, no matter what my build is, so I'm glad this was over so fast. Primal Bonfire lit, and Medulla returned to. 100,000 souls. All getting pumped into health. Oh yeah. That increase is gonna be so helpful. Day 1 over. Day 2, Electric Boogaloo. Right after recording yesterday, I updated Miss Lois about our progress and asked how she's doing, just to be informed she had just killed Sin. So, we're pretty damn behind. Luckily enough for us, we're a quarter of the way through the game, and it really picks up by this point, with the distance between every boss only shrinking, and the bosses themselves kind of just becoming pushovers. Since we've already spent all the souls the Lost Sinner gave us, and we don't really have the health to drop down the well yet, I decided we'll head to the Shaded Woods first and get all that tomfoolery out of the way. As we wander through the Shaded Woods, I had a thought about Freya. In this game, you can cut Freya's head off to stop that side from attacking, but you can also accidentally cut both heads off. And the thing that worries me about that is if you do cut both heads off, it soft locks the fight, as those are the only ways to hurt her. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what determines if you cut a head off or not, but I am certainly worried that our weapon passes every requirement with flying colors. If we do end up soft locking the fight, that means we'll need to come back later with another weapon. At least that's not for a little while, though. For now, we've got Quelaag's cousin to worry about. Yeah, I'm not exactly surprised at that outcome, but that does mean we're in the doors of Pharos now and have a permanent way to sell things. Where's Gavlin? Oh, right, this part is after Harvest Valley. Let's go ahead and spin with this doctor real quick. Now we just gotta get through Huntsman's Copse. That shouldn't be too hard, though. Here's the Undead Lockaway key for a closer bonfire, and Creighton, who will probably be pretty useful later. Then boom, Skeleton Lords down as easy as we got here. Harvest Valley awaits. While we wait for this bridge to drop, what would you even call this build? Look at us, what name even befits this?
Hot rock lady make Gurg happy.
Sorry, I had Gurg over today. We hung out and played PS2. We do get to purchase some Titanite chunks later from this lady, though, so we should definitely advance her. We actually gotta spend some time here in Earthen Peak to find Pate first, but you all know what time it is. Time to fight the hardest boss of the game. Me in real life. Man, we just barely scraped by on that one. We did win, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and use all the souls we got from those last couple bosses, then we're gonna find Pate. We're gonna find Pate. We might as well burn this windmill real quick too, but here's Pate. Give me your rewards. Easy as. So now we have a great armor set and another ring we can actually use. A rather useful one too, attacking our attacker for us. However, the armor of Oros overall is actually better, so fashion souls be damned, I guess. Mytha time! The goopy pool has already been drained, so this should be easy peasy. See? We even cut her tail off at the very end. Iron keep open. Alright, I've been kind of putting it off, but it's probably important for us to bring our health up by this point. The reason why is because normally you'd purchase the Silver Cat ring to drop down the well and reduce your fall damage, but we can't do that because it isn't an NPC gift ring. Instead, we need to take the alternative route of bringing our health up so high that our organs completely refuse to succumb to the sudden stop after a 100-meter drop. Since we've done that, though, we might as well drop in on the Rotten now. It'd be a lot easier to just get him and afterward Freya out of the way, just because we've already pretty much got both of their fights open. With our overly compensating health pool, we make it into the Grave of Saints and kill Roy the Explorer, before eliminating the Royal Rat Vanguard and making it into Tomb of the Giants, the Squeakquel. Why do they insist on making super dark areas like this? Luckily enough, we didn't really have any roadblocks on the way here, and we've already arrived in Black Gulch. Our armor got busted at the very end by some corrosion jars, so we gotta get that repaired real quick, then we can fight the Rotten. Once again, as expected, an easy victory. Back to Majula. I decide just in case we do soft lock ourselves with Freya, we're gonna spend some souls on the longest ladder here because apparently it grants you the Melu scimitar. So if our humongous axe cuts both heads off, we'll at least have the scimitar to fall back on. 2 great soul bearers down, 2 more to go. Let's just head to Brightstone Cove Seldora now, shall we? Hey, look, it's that one boss DS2 gets so much unnecessary hate for. Which one, you said? I love this game more and more every time I play it. Why must you people hate it so? I don't know if it's too late yet, but we should talk to Creighton in the Shaded Woods so we can get his rewards from helping him kill Pate here in Seldora. I only hope he's still in that tower. Oh good, he's still here. So we didn't pass up his rewards. Now we just gotta help him out in the cave. Fun fact too, Creighton actually uses the Dragon Slayer's Crescent Axe, which is my favorite weapon in the series. Specifically in both this game and the third game, because it doesn't appear in the first one. Hey Creighton, your knight in shining armor has arrived. And not only do we get one of my favorite armor sets in the game visually, which actually is also better than the Oros set, but when we go ahead and use his house key he gave us, we get the engraved gauntlets. Granted, these are loot picked up from a chest. However, Creighton explicitly handed us the key to access it and told us what's in here is ours. So even though it wasn't handed directly to us by him, by proximity, it is still an NPC reward. So I say we're allowed to use it. Hopefully Eleum agrees. Aside from that whole explanation though, these gauntlets are pretty cool. I'm not gonna wear them for the Freya fight for the reasons I stated I'm worried for that fight, but basically they give our attacks a chance to become critical hits. So we're definitely gonna be using them. Speaking of Freya, here she is now. I cannot express how pissed I was about this. Her spiders were annoying the whole time, but at the very end of the fight, they webbed us and held us in place to die. We got her 4th try. Yeah. 4th. I'm embarrassed too. Primal Bonfire 3 lit. Seldora gave us some real goodies, like a Titanite chunk for our axe, Twinkling Titanite for the gauntlets, and 100,000 souls. Good prep for the Iron Keep. Just because I saw a tip for the first dragon ring on the loading screen, I want to say, we actually can wear the 2nd dragon ring because it's an NPC reward from Najka's brother, but to speak with him and obtain the ring, you need the Ring of Whispers, which is not an NPC reward. So, despite being able to wear the 2nd dragon ring and it showing up in the guide Eleum made, there's actually no challenge-friendly way for us to obtain it. So, we just are gonna have to forego the 2nd dragon ring, one of, I think, the best rings in the game, unfortunately. We're gonna skip Smelter Demon for now since he's optional. If you've been following Mancakes for a while, you know I prefer to do all the optional bosses once we've reached the end of the game. We do get to Belfry Soul though, just to have the bonfire. Fire off, hello old Iron King. As easy as every other boss we've faced, now we get our first Aldia meeting. When he's done flapping his gums, we light our final primal bonfire, meaning it's time for us to make our way to Drangleic. The castle. We're already in the land. This shot of the castle at night in the rain is always so crazy, no matter how many times I play this game. Open says me. Now, if I remember right, this is the door we want to open. All of the quote-unquote soul technology in Drangleic Castle is so cool, and it's just one of many things that make this game unique and so much better than the other two. Hey, frozen flower. I wonder if this was dropped by my challenge partner. I am pretty certain that this is the one and only time I have ever traded with an invader in this game. Or any FromSoft game, to be honest. Well, hello there, Twin Dragon Riders. You think you have what it takes to take me down?
Bring it on! Piece of cake!
I really just want to eliminate Looking Glass Knight by the end of today's recording, which we are absolutely on track for, so that's perfect. Elevator getting lowered. I mean, that just gets us back to the elevator faster, so I don't really have an issue with that. Key, door, and hello, Mr. Glass. Let's dance. Once again, nobody can stand against the great Mancakes. Guess I'll just have to take a break from recording today. Making some good progress, team. Here we are, the worst part of the game. It's a good thing I'm doing this tomorrow and getting a chance to relax for the rest of today. I decided just to get through Shrine of Amana and kill Demon of Song because that would make an even 10 bosses hunted today, so yeah. Now I get to relax. So, day 3. I was actually informed last night, my last night, not yours, that we don't have to fight any bosses we don't want to. Looks like we are getting to leave the Ancient Dragon in one piece. However, we only have 3 mainline bosses left. Not counting the Throne of Want fights. All we have to do after those is the optional content, including the DLCs. We're already here in the underground mausoleum or whatever, and if you've seen my other 2 Dark Souls 2 challenges, you know how quickly we run through this. So it's time to drop the bridge and face Velstad. Easy peasy. We are really going to be speedrunning all of this today because I'm quickly running out of footage space. Here we are in Aldia's key- oh. We're already fighting Guardian Dragon. Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to do really in between each of these bosses by this point. These last 3 necessary ones are just kind of all back to back. It goes by really quickly. Like, look, we already got the Ashen Mist Heart and take literally only like 5 minutes walking through Giant Memories, including eliminating the Giant Lord, our final necessary boss. So here's a montage of all the base game optional content that we're doing. Basically everything but Dark Lurker and Ancient Dragon. As you can see, we're ending base game off with the Executioner's Chariot. Can you guess why? What pulls a chariot? Horses do. Speaking of horses, did you know that horses actually can't breathe through their mouths? They have to breathe through their noses, even when they're in the middle of running, which I'm sure was evolved for more efficient blood oxygen reasons. Additionally, horses have almost an entire 360-degree view of their surroundings. Being prey, they need to stay alert in the wild, and with the placement of their eyes on their heads, they can almost see an entire 360 degrees. If I had to guess, their viewing angle is probably something between 270 and 320. For context, in case you didn't know, baby horses are called foals? Fowls? I'm gonna say foals. I tell you this because foals can actually begin standing and running only a few hours after being born. They sure do seem more efficient than baby people. Finally, horses are incredibly intelligent. Now, I do have to admit, in my own opinion, I think all animals are a lot more sentient and aware than we as people give them credit for, but horses have demonstrated before that they do have the ability to understand and properly communicate with their caretakers. That's so cool. While horses may not be endangered, a lot of other species are, so please, if you're feeling generous, donate to the World Wildlife Fund in the description to help out the helpless.
Please, I beg you!
Anyway, while you and I were sharing our animal cookies, I started and ran through the whole first DLC in, like, 20 minutes. It's really short. So we're already at the bottom of the ziggurat. Let's face Alana. Oh, there she goes. Guess it's just time for Sin. It was a close one, but you can bet your lucky stars we first tried the bastard. All we have left for this DLC is the Grave Robber Trio, and we will have finished this DLC in, like, 45 minutes. Well, it did take 3 attempts, but despite that, we still finished Crown of the Sunken King in less than an hour. Now I'm going to move on to getting as much of Crown of the Old Iron King done as I can in the rest of today. Open this door, grab the key, and boom. Or, should I say, broom. Here we are at the Broom Tower. Get out of here, Nadalia. Getting to the foyer wasn't too difficult. It was pretty similar to getting to the bottom of the ziggurat. Though I will admit, we got really lucky here with our iframes, because we just barely got them in time. But now we just gotta grab the Scorching Iron Rod. Easy as that. Now we have access to the bottom of Broom Tower. First, I want to grab another Nadalia Piercer, though, so we can sufficiently weaken Fume Knight. Then we'll be done for today. Good morning, everyone. It is now day 4 of recording, hopefully the final day. So all we have to do today is kill the bosses in Broom Tower and run through nope, that sounds terrible. Play through Crown of the Ivory King. As far as running through the Iron King DLC goes though, yesterday I got us here, so let's just face Fume Knight now. The slower attack speed on this weapon makes the fight a little bit harder, but it's not too different overall. We got him on our second has the recording been paused? Bruh. I paused it to go do something, and I forgot to unpause it for the second attempt. It's not a hard fight, though. Like I said, we got him on the second try. You can even watch my other videos to see how easy of a time I have with him. Here's the crown to prove it, too. Time for Blue Smelter Demon. Sir Elon absolutely has the worst run back in the whole series, but Blue Smelter Demons isn't great either, if I'm being honest. I stood here a while after our third death and realized I think I'd rather open up the bosses in the final DLC instead of doing this fight over and over, so we're doing that instead. Frosty Nuke. No gate can withstand it. Eleum Lois berates us here, I can only assume because we're still running the game and she's done with it already. Don't worry though, we're almost done. All we need is the Eye of the Priestess. Well, that was easy. Guess it's time to act as Ava's euthanasia. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we just gotta find all the Eleum Knights. First, here's Miss Lois, ice nuking all the ice chunks for us. Thank you. Let's go get the most difficult one first. It all starts with this tower, and being slaughtered by phantoms. Really though, we just gotta open this gate, kill the covetous demon clone, move up this elevator, eliminate these icemen, and after all that work, we have one knight unlocked. 2 more to go. At least this one was the hardest one. I knew I should have opened that goddamn shortcut. Night 2 freed. 1 more to go. Oh, that was an easy one. I guess it's just time to face the Burnt Ivory King. Oh. After a short break, we came back and eliminated the Burnt Ivory King on our 4th attempt. No, I'm not fighting the 2 cats. They can go unattempted. All that leaves now is the last couple Iron Crown bosses, Blue Smelter Demon and Sir Elon. Oh, man. Oh, finally. This is the endgame fit, guys. Peak pony performance. Hiya, Smelty. How are you doing? Once again, all we needed was a break, and we eliminated Blue Smelter Demon on our first attempt back from that break. That leaves Sir Elon, the #1 worst run back in the whole series. I hate this run through so much. Every time, every run back, it single-handedly makes me hate this fight more and more. After much debating and death in this single hallway, I've decided we're just gonna finish the game now. Apologies, my resolve simply isn't as strong as Miss Lois's. Throne of One time. First the Defender and Watcher. As easy as I expected. Next up to the plate, Nashandra. Easy peasy. Time for Aldia. Oof, that damage is rough. Hold on, Aldia. We'll be back shortly. After a little bit of a level up, we're back, and as our final demonstration of friendship, Benhart of Jugo, follow us into battle, aid our effort. Unfortunately, our victory came at the cost of our friend, but we cleared Aldia without much effort, taking our rightful throne, meaning we have successfully beaten Dark Souls 2 through the power of friendship. If it were a contest, Eleum Lois absolutely won, just based off the updates she was reciprocating after each of my recordings. She absolutely did more bosses than me, but hey, at least we finished it. I had a lot of fun with this, and I can't wait to see her video. I'm really excited. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing. It's free, and while I may not be the best at games, I try to run a variety of them so that maybe I have something you'll like. Make sure you subscribe to Eleum Lois as well. She's got great content and is absolutely one of my favorite creators. Eleum, if you made it this far in my video, it was a lot of fun, and I'd love to collaborate again in the future. Make sure you visit the World Wildlife Fund in the description to donate to animal conservation. Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys today. So, as always, have a fantastic day.